Okay, just start it. Okay. Good day, I'm reporter Tyler Fingert with Fox 10 News. You're watching us here on our Fox 10 News Now streams on Facebook, YouTube, and all of our OTT platforms. We're here in the Atmore area where there was a reported severe weather and a possible tornado that came through here at about 9 a.m. this morning, so just about 2.5 hours ago. You'll see this is part of a tree that had been ripped off one of the branches from that wind, and you'll see there's a lot of also water ponding in this area from all that rain that came through. And so just down the street from where we are on County Road 1, there was a mobile home park. I'm going to have my photographer come over here real quick. We're going to get an update from the sheriff in just a moment. We're going to walk over. Sheriff Jackson for the Escambia County Sheriff's Office is going to be able to give us an update, but what we do know is at least 2 people had to be transported to the hospital after severe weather came through this came through just about 2.5 hours ago, and 2 were taken by ambulance. 1 was went to the hospital by private vehicle to the Atmore Hospital. But we're going to listen in and be able to hear some of more information about what happened at the mobile home park on County Road 1 here in Atmore.
Everybody ready? Good. All right, I'm Escambia County Sheriff Heath Jackson. This is David Adams, our EMA Director for Escambia County. This morning about 9 o'clock we started receiving calls of a possible tornado touchdown at the 7400 block of Jack Springs Road at a mobile home facility. We arrived, there was numerous mobile homes that were overturned, approximately 9 are completely totaled. There was 2 injuries that were transported to the hospital by ambulance. 1 walk-in injury that walked into the hospital, and then numerous people with bumps and bruises, things of that nature. We're currently right now in the process of just trying to get power restored to the area. We've done a grid search of the mobile home park. Everybody is accounted for, and there are no deaths. We had 1 guy that was in his mobile home when the storm hit. He was asleep. He said when he woke up he was in the woods. So, obviously the good Lord was looking out for him, and we appreciate that. So we're just trying to make sure that we get people placed, or in the process of getting that done, trying to find places for these people to go so they'll have shelter over their head tonight, and basically in the cleanup process.
There's a lot of work going on, obviously. What do you want to tell people that live around the area?
Everybody always wants to come out and see what's happened. That makes our job 10 times harder. If you will, rely on your news sources and your news agencies. That's why they're here. They're putting the news out for you. Please rely on that. Don't come make our job harder. We appreciate all the support of our community as always, but if you can, stay at home. Don't come get involved in something that we're trying to make better.
How widespread is the power outage? Is it just confined to that?
It seems to be just confined to that area. There were some poles that were broken. Southern Pine is currently on scene, and they're doing a wonderful job trying to get it on as quick as they can. I want to thank all the other responding units that helped us. Porch Creek Tribal Police, Porch Creek Fire, the Sheriff's Office, our EMA, Atmore Police Department, Atmore Fire, the Alabama State Troopers, and there's many more that helped us and that showed up. And and that's what small communities do. We band together and we help each other.
Sheriff Jackson, you just got back from the area where it happened. What does it look like there?
It looks like a tornado hit it. I'm not sure if they've ruled that it was a tornado or not. I'm still waiting to hear that back. But I mean, it's devastating, and those people have nothing left. And I think that's the hardest part. We're so thankful that nobody was killed or severely injured. But to know everything that you own is no more. That's difficult to see.
How many people live there?
I'd be afraid to say. I'd say there's probably 25, 30 mobile homes there, maybe more.
Pretty close. Yeah.
It happened quickly, obviously. I mean, did you get a chance to talk to anybody about what they experienced? I mean, the one guy said he was kind of
Yeah, that's the only person that I heard from. You know, usually when we get here, our main concern is salvaging lives, and if anybody's injured, getting them the help they need and making sure nobody's trapped. So as far as, you know, interviewing anybody, we really haven't got to that part yet. That usually comes a little bit later in the day when everything kind of calms down and we're able to kind of spend a little bit more time on navigating those areas.
You touched on it a second ago, but talk about the response. I know Baldwin County was on standby, other neighboring agencies as well. Talk again about
that's correct. There was Baldwin County 911, Mobile County, Monroe County. We've pretty much heard from everybody. Hallsmack is a good friend of ours. He reached out and said, hey, anything you need is yours. You know, so we deal with enough every day that we've got a pretty good group of neighboring counties that bend over backwards to help us in our time of need, just as we would do for them. So the outpouring of help is always loved and wanted.
Is there any confirmation that it was in fact a tornado? Do you have any word on that either of you?
The evidence that I've seen gives mixed signals. Some of it supports straight line wind, and there's a little bit to support possible rotation. I've been on the phone in contact with National Weather Service in Mobile. They intend to have a team on the ground tomorrow to give us confirmation.
Yeah, based on your experience, what you've seen before, it looks like some rotation perhaps. Or...
Only a little bit. My initial take is straight line wind.
There was no tornado warning issued for this area before this, right?
No, I was on the phone with National Weather Service within 2 or 3 minutes after getting the first notification, and they were not seeing any rotation on the radar. However, understand that we're far enough from the radar site in Mobile that they cannot see ground level. They can only see an elevated picture.
Sheriff, do you have any indication on how bad those injuries were for those 2 people hospitalized?
I do not. I'm still waiting on that. Usually we'll try to do a debrief. Actually, when I get through here with y'all, we're going to do a debrief and try to follow up on that. You know, like I said, our main thing is to make sure that anybody that might have an injury, we get them to a hospital. And once we turn them over to the hospital staff, you know, whether they ship them out somewhere else to a bigger hospital or where they handle it there, that's something we usually learn a little bit further down the road. So hopefully when we debrief from this meeting, we'll be able to
I know we'll be able to see it at some point, but if you could describe perhaps one of the trailers that was destroyed, how would you describe?
I mean, one of the trailers is completely flipped over. The bottom of the trailer is facing up. The walls are completely gone. You've got a roof over here. You've got the bottom frame of the trailer over here. So, I mean, it's bad. It's bad, and you know, you just hate it for the people because everything they've got's gone.
And can you talk about the different agencies that are going to be involved in helping provide assistance and shelter and that sort of thing?
So our EMA director, he'll get with the Red Cross agencies like that, and they'll start trying to set that up and, you know, get that going. You know, fortunately this happened during, you know, daylight hours, so it made our job a lot easier getting in here and checking to make sure that nobody was trapped. So it helps us get to the recovery stage a lot easier. So, you know, that's what he'll spend, you know, a lot of today's, the rest of the day on, is trying to get that handled.
And this happened about what time? I mean, these people were getting ready for work?
Should have been around 9 o'clock is what it's looking like. You know, rough guess 9 o'clock.
Okay.
And do you have reports of any other damage anywhere else in the county, anything like that, or is it just confined here?
No, I mean, it was just confined here. So.
Sheriff, I know this is the second storm like this that you guys have seen. The one just over the state line in Bruton, I mean, less than a year ago. Can you speak to, you know, the storm?
You were just listening to Sheriff Heath Jackson with the Escambia County Sheriff's Office. He was giving us an update on the severe weather that moved through the Atmore area at about 9 a.m. this morning, so just about 2.5 hours ago. Sorry, I'll step out of the way of our camera. You'll see the shot you're looking at right now on your screen. An ambulance just now arriving here. I'm not sure if that's because there was another injury or another report of someone needing some medical assistance that's just arriving here. We heard that siren, but you also see that there are power crews here working to try to restore power in this area because power poles were snapped. At least one was, possibly more. So there's definitely some situation. I just want to recap a little bit of what we've been able to learn from the sheriff here in Escambia County, Alabama. And this all happening on Jack Springs Road area. 9 mobile homes are totaled. 2 people were transported by ambulance to the hospital. 1 walked into the hospital themselves. They got transported by private vehicle. So doing the math there, that's 3 people who were seriously enough injured that they had to go to the hospital to get treatment. Other people had bumps and bruises, so there's definitely multiple injuries involved in this. The good news here, no deaths reported, but again, multiple injuries. And it's definitely something we'll be continuing to monitor. We are told we will be able to get closer to the mobile home park once the power crews are able to restore power out here and be able to make sure that the road is clear, because we're right near Escambia County Road 1 and Jack Springs Road. We're stationed at a church, which is where they have us holding right now while crews continue to do their work. Again, 9 total mobile homes damaged after an apparent severe weather system moved through this area. At this point, it is not a confirmed tornado. The Escambia County EMA director telling us that it is unclear if it was a tornado or if it was straight line winds. But again, either way, it doesn't matter. This all already happened. These people who live here having to go through this. The sheriff telling us that 1 person was asleep at the time this all happened out here at about 9 a.m. this morning. And when he woke up, he was in the woods. That was coming from the sheriff, and he just feels extremely sorry for what happened. And this is just a very unfortunate situation, obviously. I mean, we were expecting severe weather. That is what Fox 10 News meteorologists have been reporting and saying over the last few days. They had the National Weather Service issuing an enhanced risk for this area for severe weather, a level 3 risk. And so there was definitely a concern for tornadoes in this area, and also for straight line winds and also flooding. So what we're seeing here, and while we can't show you the actual mobile home park right now just because of where they have us stationed, but they do have power crews working to restore power right now. And once that is finished, we hopefully will be able to get a clearer picture of what it looks like. Fox 10 News has 2 crews out here, myself, reporter Tyler Fingert, and then also Fox 10 News investigative reporter Brendan Kirby on scene as well, to give you all the details of what we're learning about what is going on.
There's a big pine tree, I think, that took out the lines.
So I'm looking through the okay. So what you're looking at right now on your screen, my photojournalist Randy Lowe pointing this out, that it looks like a pine tree toppled over either in the winds or during that severe system that came through here at about 9 a.m. that ended up onto the power lines, which toppled that over. So that's what they're trying to repair right now. And again, there's a lot of stuff we don't know at this point, but again, the good news here, there were initial reports that somebody may have died. At this point, that is not confirmed, and that did not happen, according to the sheriff. There were just some serious injuries. 2 people had to be transported to the hospital with an ambulance, and obviously the sheriff and the EMA director here thankful that nobody was killed or severely injured. But again, the cleanup just beginning out here in Escambia County, Alabama. We're just near the Atmore area, Escambia County Road 1, and at the mobile home park was Jack Springs Road. Again, 9 total mobile homes completely destroyed. They're totaled. Others are also damaged in there. And the sheriff, when we asked him how many people may live in this mobile home park, he said it could be anywhere from 20 to 25, around that number. So there's definitely quite a few mobile homes in that area, but 9 of them are completely damaged. Again, at this point, no confirmed tornadoes. According to the EMA director, he said he was on the phone with the National Weather Service in Mobile, talking to them around the time of this happening, and they said that there was no rotation. And actually, I'm going to see if we can move our camera up just a little bit. So just where we are, it looks like the church also sustained some damage. You can see some of the siding that came off as a result of either the wind, the straight line winds, and also so clearly the winds were strong enough out here. The estimates of what we heard could be anywhere from 60 to 70 mile per hour. If it was a tornado, it could also be even stronger than that. But that will be up to the National Weather Service to come out here, do their survey and determine if it was in fact a tornado out here this morning or if it was just straight line winds. In both situations, both can be very catastrophic, as we just learned from what happened at this mobile home park. 9 homes were destroyed. Also, a lot of rain fell in this area. We were driving here. We got off at I-65 at, I believe it was exit 54, and we noticed as we were driving in the lots of water in the drainage ditches. So you can tell that over the course of several hours, from about 6 a.m. this morning until pretty much right about now, when the rain has let up, at least for the time being, a lot of rain fell out here. So this definitely was a big rain storm, but also clearly a lot of wind and possibly a tornado. But again, it could be several hours before the National Weather Service is able to make their way out here and be able to determine what exactly was the cause of this, whether it was a tornado or straight line winds. I'm trying to see if I can get an update right now through text, so bear with me for one moment while we are doing that. We're going to continue to show you the power crews who are continuing to work out here. They're now raising a power pole. You see that's happening live here on our camera and live here on our Fox 10 News Now stream, raising a power pole to get the lines restored. And again, once they get the power restored out here, once the power company does what they need to do, the sheriff did say that they will let us go a little bit further and get closer to the mobile home park and hopefully be able to give you a sense of what happened out here. All of this about 9 a.m. this morning, people getting ready for work. One man asleep at the time this happened. The sheriff tells us that he was told that the man was asleep inside his home, and the next thing he knew, he was in the woods. So whatever happened out here, a very catastrophic event to these mobile homes, where 9 total were destroyed and resulting in 2 people having to be transported to the hospital by ambulance. One person also being taken to the hospital by a private vehicle. They walked into the hospital. We're told they're at the Atmore, I believe it's Atmore Regional Medical Center, getting treated right now. And it looks like another ambulance about to leave. That was the one just about 5 or 10 minutes ago that was arriving. And the lights are off, and they are now making their way back down the road here. So it's unclear if anyone else was loaded up in there or what exactly this ambulance was called for. Obviously a very stressful situation for many people, nearly 3 hours after this unfolded out here. Again, we do want to say that no deaths are reported out here after the severe weather came through. That is some very good news. The sheriff happy to hear that, because very thankful that no one was killed. But there are definitely some injuries, at least 2 requiring transportation to a hospital by ambulance. One other one going to the hospital in a private vehicle. So there's a lot we're hoping to learn, and we're going to learn over the course of the next several hours. But this just is another example, another reason why it's so important to get alerts from a trusted source about situations like this, and to stay weather aware and weather informed throughout the day. Again, one person was just asleep inside their home when this went through. And I do want to make clear, we do not know if this was a tornado or straight line winds at this point. That is something that the National Weather Service in Mobile will be able to make that designation. They will be sending a storm survey crew out here over the course of the next few hours, and they will make that determination on what exactly what type of weather event this was. But a lot we're hoping to learn over the course of the next few hours out here, and we'll keep you up to date every step of the way here on Fox 10. We'll keep the shot up for the time being, and we'll check in with you guys in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to see if I can get a quick update, but stay with us and bear with us. We're going to continue to show you the power crews that are continuing to do the important work to get the power restored to everyone who has lost power as a result of this severe weather. But stay with us. We'll keep the stream going, and we'll be right back in just a couple of moments. Good day, everyone. This is reporter Tyler Fingert with Fox 10 News. Thank you for staying with us here on our Fox 10 News Now stream on all of our digital platforms. We are here near Jack Springs Road and County Road 1 in Escambia County, Alabama. This is near Atmore. What I can tell you at this point is that there was some sort of severe weather event that came through here this morning. It came through a mobile home park about a half mile or a little less than a half mile from where I stand right now. And it resulted in multiple mobile homes being destroyed. And right now it's unclear if it was a tornado or if it was straight line winds that hit out here. That is something that the National Weather Service in Mobile will be looking closely at. They'll be sending a survey crew out here to be able to make that judgment. But either way, there is a lot of damage out here. 9 mobile homes destroyed, some others also taking some damage. 2 people were transported by ambulance to the hospital. Another one walked into the hospital themselves after being transported by a private vehicle. So a total of 3 people at the hospital this noon, dealing with injuries after a severe weather event that came through this area at about 9 a.m. this morning. Again, Jack Springs Road and County Road 1 area in Atmore, or right near Atmore in Escambia County, Alabama. The good news here, no deaths reported, but there are definitely a lot of damage, lots of damage, and also several injuries. And we're going to continue to monitor this situation. In actually just about 5 minutes, I'll be doing we're cutting into programming on Fox 10 on air to be able to give those watching us right now those breaking details that we just learned from the Escambia County Sheriff Heath Jackson. He gave Fox 10 News a update just a short time ago with all of the details about what we've now been able to learn about what happened out here. It's something, again, we are closely monitoring. We heard about this and we sent a push alert within an hour or an hour and 15 minutes of the actual event happening out here. Once we were notified and got some information confirmed, we immediately drove up here, and we're still waiting to be able to see the scene, assess the situation over at that mobile home park. They are keeping us back for the time being while power crews continue to work to restore power in this area. At least one power pole snapped during this as a result of what appears to be a pine tree that fell over during either the severe winds, straight line winds, or also the possible tornado. Again, that's not confirmed at this point. The EMA director says it looks like it could possibly just be straight line winds that hit out here, but that is something the National Weather Service will be able to make the determination and be able to make that update and decide based off the damage and what they see what the exact cause of this severe weather was, whether it was straight line winds or a tornado. There's definitely debris around here. I mean, we're stationed at a church right now down the street. There's some damage to that. There's also tree limbs down in some areas around here. Lots of water ponding and pooling in the drainage ditches. So there was definitely weather that came through here. So in just about 3 minutes or so, we'll be cutting in on Fox 10 News. I believe we'll be staying on our stream here as well on Fox 10 News Now. So in a couple of moments, I will just be silent as we get ready for that live hit for our noon update on Fox 10. I'll go through the information once again at that point as well. But we have all this information on our website, fox10tv.com, and of course on our free Fox 10 News app, trying to get that information out there. They are asking people to stay away from the scene for now. So again, we're going to be going on air on Fox 10 in just a short while.
To yellow. This red is a new tornado warning that was just issued for Santa Rosa County. We got team coverage here today on Fox 10 News. I'm here alongside meteorologist Michael White, meteorologist Jennifer Lambers, and there are a lot of different elements to the severe weather alerts that are going on right now. But the one that is of greatest concern is this new tornado warning that was just issued for the Milton area. And this is is going to include downtown Milton and then the north side of town between Milton and Allentown along Highway 84 for a possible tornado over near the Escambia River tracking towards the east, and that's going to include both Santa Rosa and also over into Okaloosa County. So new tornado warning is in effect. We've got multiple advisories right now as well. The area of concern, and as Michael's zooming in on the radar now, it's going to be located right through here in Milton. There are a lot of lightning strikes too, so you can see those right there, but the storm-based warning is going to be areas that are within this red box right here, and so the possible area of rotation is right in the heart of Milton now. It's going to be near Willard Norris Road and 89, Highway 89, and generally along and north of Highway 90, and it's tracking basically due east across parts of Escambia County. Now we're panned up to the north right now on our velocity scan, but we're going to go back down to the south and we'll show you that area of rotation, and it stands out right here. So we've got it near Pine Blossom Road. This is Highway 87. There's Willard Norris Road. And this is it right here as Michael's rocking the radar a little bit to show you. There's that rotation area, and it's going this way. So it looks like it's going to be mainly across the north side of town, not in Milton proper, but just a little north of town. And it's going to cross, it's currently crossing 87. It's headed out towards 191. Looks like the community of Indian Ford is going to be pretty much right in the path of this one, as well as areas between Indian Ford and Highway 90. So we're right now talking about a tornado warning that's currently in effect for Santa Rosa County for a Doppler radar indicated tornado. And we're also keeping an eye on our National Weather Service chat. It says that the Okaloosa County Emergency Management is also monitoring this as well. So we're tracking this as it's moving on off to the east, and we're going to continue to see the potential for advisories in our area as we go through the afternoon, because we remain under a tornado watch for this area. There is also a large area that's currently under a severe thunderstorm warning. So I'm going to highlight all these different advisories for you. The yellow, that's tornado watch. Tornado watch has been dropped for Mobile County, by the way, and areas to the west, but we are still under a tornado watch for Baldwin County, Escambia County, Alabama, Escambia County, Florida, Okaloosa County, Florida, and also Santa Rosa County in Florida. Then additionally, and damaging winds within thunderstorms has been a big problem today. We've had a lot of damage up around Atmore. We're going to check in with Tyler Fingert here coming up. And there is a very large area that's currently under a severe thunderstorm warning. That's where we can see wind gusts up around or above 60 miles per hour with some of these thunderstorms. Far southeastern Escambia County, Okaloosa County, Santa Rosa County, Escambia County, and South Baldwin County are all under severe thunderstorm warnings right now. And then we have our tornado warning that's currently located right near the Milton area on the north side of town there, and tracking east towards 191 and Highway 90 in the Indian Ford community. We'll go back into this and look at this one more time. And right now, the couplet here on our velocity scan is not as well defined as it was when the warning was issued. So the colors were a little deeper, a little darker, a little better defined right there, right initially when the warning was issued. And if we look at the current setup here, it appears to have weakened some, but we're not dropping the warning just yet. Just wanted to show you the trend there, because these things tend to evolve and change. And this is embedded along a very strong line of thunderstorms. So even if you're not getting a tornado, there is a Boeing signature to this right through here. So there are very likely going to be straight line winds going on right here, even if there's not a tornado. 191 area and Highway 90 in Santa Rosa County, you're under the gun for a tornado warning. And within that, we're also under a severe thunderstorm warning. So whether you get that area of rotation or not, you're going to see some really strong gusty winds down through here. And these storms have had a history of producing wind damage in our area. This cell is tracking along Highway 90 and 191, and it's going to continue to move on off towards the east. So we've been monitoring this throughout the day. We've had a couple of tornado warnings. We've had some reports of damage in our area. We've had a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings. We still have a good portion of our area that's in that level 3 risk zone for the potential of severe weather today, and deep colors on radar right now. So this is the new updated severe weather risk zone map that is issued from the Storm Prediction Center, and you can see the yellow, that's slight risk. That's going to be the case until the surface front clears later today, but we have that level 3 enhanced risk. And of course, this tornado warned area is within the level 3 zone right there. So we're going to be watching out for that one as it's tracking to the east. So we've got a new tornado warning up if you're just joining us. That is for Santa Rosa County. Storm system here is producing the potential of a tornadic cell near Milton on the north side of town along Highway 89 and tracking towards 191 as it moves on off towards the east. So we have cutters throughout the morning. We want to check in and show you some of the damage that we've had around our area, and I believe we have Tyler Fingert with us. We can check in with him, or perhaps Sarah can send it over to him and see what's happening up in the Atmore area where we've had a lot of trouble up there. Tyler, if you can hear us, set the scene. Let us know what's going on up there in Atmore. I can see some insulation, it looks like, off in the ground, and also some debris.
Yeah, hey Jason, good afternoon to you. I just received an update from Sheriff Heath Jackson just a couple of moments ago. I now can confirm that 5 people were transported to the hospital after some sort of severe weather event. They're not sure if it was a tornado at this point or straight line winds, but 5 people were transported from a mobile home park just down the street here on County Road 1 here in Escambia County, Alabama, and at Jack Springs Road. It happened about 9 a.m. this morning, and so the sheriff telling us that 5 were transported to the hospital, 2 are critical, and they were both taken to Mobile hospitals. So again, 5 people. So there was some sort of very severe weather event that unfolded out here. Again, not sure if it was a tornado at this point or if it was a straight line winds. That's what the EMA director says, that the National Weather Service will be coming out here and doing a storm survey to make that judgment. But nonetheless, it was still heavy damage after the severe weather event moved through at about 9 a.m. this morning. Again, Jack Springs Road and County Road 1 in Escambia County, Alabama. This is right near Atmore. We're told 9 mobile homes in total are destroyed. And obviously other ones in that same area were also damaged. We're being kept a short distance away, probably about a half-mile away from where the scene is, where the actual mobile home park is, because it is just unsafe for us to get to right now while power crews are restoring power. What you're looking at right now is the electric company. They just put up a new pole, and they're now trying to get the power lines hooked back up and get the power restored. It appeared that a tree just couldn't take the wind that was out here and just toppled over, and it all happened at about the same time, because just about a half-mile away from this is where that mobile home park is. The good news here, no deaths reported after the situation here, but there are definitely some serious injuries. And we spoke to the Escambia County Sheriff Heath Jackson just a short while ago. Take a listen to what he had to say about what happened out here.
It looks like a tornado hit it. You know, I'm not sure if they've ruled that it was a tornado or not. I'm still waiting to hear that back. But I mean, it's devastating, and you know, those people have nothing left. And you know, I think that's the hardest part. We're so thankful that nobody was killed or severely injured. But you know.
Yeah, definitely very thankful no one was killed out here. We actually can hear lightning that just struck just a short distance away from us. So that's it appears more rain is going to be heading this way. Just a quick recap, and you can hear the lightning and the thunder once again. But a quick recap: 5 total people transported after some sort of severe weather incident out here, whether straight line winds or tornado. The National Weather Service going to be coming out here to make that determination. 2 are in critical condition at this hour at a Mobile hospital. We're going to continue to stay on top of this. We'll bring you updates throughout the afternoon and, of course, during our 4 and 5 o'clock newscast. For now, live in Atmore, I'm Tyler Fingert, Fox 10 News.
All right, Tyler, thank you very much. And in talking with the sheriff, one of the things the sheriff is talking about is not going out to take a look at that damage yourself. Damage reports are still coming in this morning. And Jason, we have more activity with the weather that could cause more damage throughout today.
That's very likely that scenario, as we're now under a tornado warning still for Santa Rosa County. The National Weather Service is going to continue to monitor this. The rotation area that has prompted this tornado warning has shown up a little weaker with some of the most recent volume scans coming in on our storm tracker. And so we may get another volume scan or two. They may drop the warning. We'll see. It's not as well defined. So what prompted the warning was here right near Milton on the north side of town. And it's now up near Indian Ford. It's real hard to find that area of rotation now. It's not as well defined on radar. But what is going on is that we have the potential of a severe thunderstorm that could be creating some very gusty winds in Santa Rosa County. And talking about the situation in Atmore that you just saw with Tyler and the reports of damage and injuries there in the Atmore area, I was discussing this with meteorologist Jennifer Lambers, and Jennifer was saying, hey, when this thing was issued, there really wasn't a lot of rotation up there. It was definitely the strong probability of straight line winds, could even be hurricane force winds that were going on up in this area when that storm roared through Atmore. So here's a look at the Porch Creek area, and there's the Jack Springs Road area, and you can see that area that was rocked by a possible tornado or straight line winds. And again, National Weather Service is going to send crews out there. They're going to survey the damage, and they can tell by looking at the damage on the ground whether it's created by a tornado or straight line winds. Regardless, the straight line wind threat is very significant today. We've got multiple counties under severe thunderstorm warnings, and then we've also got Santa Rosa County under the tornado warning. So here's a look at radar right now. And we are looking at a severe thunderstorm warning for right now Baldwin County, southern Escambia County, right now in Santa Rosa County, and then over towards Okaloosa County. And then the red box is our current tornado warning. And it's actually taken Milton, the heart of Milton, out of the box right now. And this thing is moving east at 35 miles an hour. That's going to bring it over I-10. We do have team coverage with our meteorologist on staff right now. And I'm going to send it over to the weather pod with meteorologist Michael White for an update on what you're seeing on radar right now. It's always good to have two sets of eyes on things. And Michael, you indicated that rotation is looking a little weaker. What are you hearing from the folks at the National Weather Service on that?
Well, Jason, so far, they just said they're going to continue it for now. They're going to wait for it to go through a couple of more scans on the radar imagery. And in fact, I'll pull it up on the monitor behind me and I'll back it up about to right there. That's when the tornado warning was issued. That's about 11:56. And right there, we see that red and green colors connected. That's your velocity couplet. That's your inbound and outbound winds. And that's where the rotation signature started. And that's why the tornado warning was issued. Now, follow that red and green color as it marched its way to the north and east, and look at how over time it has started to fizzle out and fade as it moved over Indian Ford. Not to say there may not still be a tornado threat in the area, but based on the radar imagery, it certainly looks a lot less intense than it did when the warning was first issued, when it was rolling over Mobile proper. So this puts it over Indian Ford and Floridale and north of Parkerville, and this is all located in parts of eastern Santa Rosa County, Florida. The warning, it technically includes western Okaloosa County, but the actual part of the storm that sparked off the warning to begin with, where you would have the rotation, has not entered Okaloosa County as of yet. And this is the reflectivity. This is where it shows you the bands of rain. You can see the heaviest rain, though, is now moving east of Milton. And this is all along that same ugly line that rolled across our area all morning. And it moved at a snail's pace, and it produced not only a flooding threat to the region, also straight line winds, lightning, and, like we've seen right now, a couple of tornado warnings. But you'll also notice the bulk of the storms are all now east of Interstate 65. West of I-65, conditions have gone a lot calmer, a lot drier. We're going to continue to see that happen as the day rolls along. Now, the afternoon's still going to be muggy and humid. It's going to be a while till the actual cold front comes in tonight. So we're going to end up dealing more than likely with humid air, warm temperatures, even after the rain and storms and severe weather threats end. But that threat is still not going to be ending for a little while longer. So at this point, the tornado warning is still active until 12:45, that is when that's going to be expiring. The storm is moving east at 35 miles an hour. A possible tornado located 6 miles southeast of Roval. Now, this does not include any of the high populated sections of Santa Rosa County or Okaloosa County, but it is, as you'll notice, right along that Interstate 10 corridor, which is heavily traveled, especially this time of the year with all the spring breakers and vacationers. So Highway 90 and Interstate 10, that is where part of that tornado warning is located. So that's one huge hazard, is that this thing could impact travelers. But as we show you the velocity scan again, the signature not as strong as it was earlier. I'm going to back it up to when the warning was first issued. There it is over Milton, looking very strong. And then as it moved over time and moved to the east, you're just seeing it a little, you see some red and green, but overall it is just not what it was when it was located over parts of Milton. Right there is the potential signature, and it's a little broad and the colors are a little more dull. But for now, Jason, it just still looks like the Weather Service going to hold on to the warning for now. We did get a storm report. You know, we were checking it with Tyler earlier up in Escambia County, Alabama, 2 miles west of the Porch Creek Indian Reservation. Thunderstorm wind damage. We've seen the video of it. Several mobile homes damaged or destroyed. Several injuries are reported. And that time, according to the storm reports, was at 8:55 in the morning. So at 8:55 in the morning, I'm going to see if I can backtrack this and run this back to 8:55 on the radar, and that would be right about here, and that would have been right there around Porch. So it would have been right here. There's Jack Springs Road. There's Porch Creek. So that's 8:56. So it would have been right there. It would have been this time, and it would have been from this storm that caused all of that damage. That the reason why we have field crews there on the scene checking this out. As far as whether or not there was any sort of rotation at that time, let's go, and it's hard to find this was at 8:55. You can't really find a couplet, so it's difficult to say whether or not it was a tornado, but based on the colors as bright as they are, the straight line wind threat with this, Jason, looks like it would have been significant, and the Weather Service was reporting at the time we were seeing wind gusts upwards of 60, 65, and in some cases even 70 miles per hour at that point in western Escambia County, Alabama.
Yeah, very likely could have been a microburst type situation there. So that's a little follow-up on what we saw going on up into the Atmore area where we had injuries earlier. Now active still a tornado warning, which has been continued twice. So it looks like this is going to stay in effect through around 12:30 p.m. What happens is when you have one of these storm-based warnings and the National Weather Service is looking at it, they're seeing rotation, they're maintaining some level of rotation, so they're going to keep the warning going, but they'll trim off the back part of the warning, so areas back towards the Milton area now in the all clear, and areas of concern are going to be Deaton Bridge Road, Floridale, and Parkerville. So this warning is going to continue and may even continue all the way across Santa Rosa County and into Okaloosa County. Active right now, if you're just joining us on Fox 10, we have a tornado warning for Santa Rosa County and into Okaloosa County. This is going to be far eastern Santa Rosa County along Interstate 10. If you're traveling, if you're familiar with this area, it would be between Pensacola and Crestview, almost directly between those two locations on Interstate 10 and Highway 90. This cell that is prompting the tornado warning in the rotation is moving east at 35 miles an hour, and for a little while there the rotation was not as well defined, but now it's starting to look a little better defined, and looking at it here now we're starting to see again a stronger definition of the inbound and outbound velocity on our Storm Tracker Doppler radar, which means that we're probably going to be continuing to track this warning over into Okaloosa County. Watch out, take cover, Deaton Bridge Road and Floridale. Anywhere along and north of Highway 90 in Santa Rosa County, and anywhere along north or even potentially south of Highway 90 and I-10 in Okaloosa County. We expect this thing to move just like this. It's going to head over towards Holt and Log Lake Road. Eventually, it's going to get pretty close to the Gallagher community. It also may be a little bit south of there with that eastward progression. So our rotation area that we've been watching, tracking it here. Not a lot of communities here, but some may pop up. Floridale by 12:20. This is based on a forward speed of about 35 miles an hour. Galliver by 12:42 as we're tracking it here on Fox 10 News with our storm tracker. I'm here alongside meteorologist Michael White. The Crestview area by 1:05 as this moves along Interstate 10. Bringing you a live picture too, just to show you, we do have crews out surveying storm damage right now. And the area where we've had an awful situation here, Atmore, with injuries, and some of them very, very serious injuries. We are looking live at the Atmore area now. The severe threat is actually lower in Atmore, but they're getting that last little cell coming through. That's prompting some very, very heavy rain and some downpours up in the Jack Springs and Porch Creek vicinity. It looks like the crews are trying to restore power there after seeing at least straight line winds. Definitely a Boeing signature to that one as it came through around 8 o'clock in the morning. So that crew is dealing with this storm here. Now, if you're in Mobile, or you're in Citronelle, or you're in Lucedale, or in Leakesville, or in Chatham, just want to let you know, things are looking a whole lot better. We still have the surface front to come through, so we still may get a little more rain, but the tornado watch has actually been canceled for the west half and a good part of the northern sections of the forecast area. This line, what happened was essentially the leading edge of the line built out ahead. It's kind of like a prefrontal squall line, and it built out ahead of the surface front, and it's taken a lot of the punch out of what's going on the back end. So two phases of this. We got the leading edge, and that's where we have our tornado warned storm right now. That's where we have a very widespread severe thunderstorm warned event. And then behind it, it's just generally what we'd call thunder showers going on. We'll watch those, but the odds of severe weather much lower with the backside of the convection than what we're seeing along and within and embedded within and along the leading edge of the front side of the showers and the thunderstorms. So presently we remain under a tornado warning for the Santa Rosa County area. If you look at this thunderstorm and just you can kind of see a little notch up here up towards Floridale, and underneath that notch, if we look at it with velocity, that's where we're seeing the rotation right now. It's going to put it in the Floridale area, and it is, as Michael was discussing, a little broad here, but we're still seeing rotation. So the National Weather Service is continuing that warning, and it looks like it won't be in Santa Rosa County much longer. Pretty soon it's going to be over Okaloosa County, and this is a real problem. If you know anybody who's traveling Interstate 10, obviously a very highly traveled roadway near the Galliver area and all the way back towards Floridale, that's going to be very close to the Okaloosa Santa Rosa County line. We've got a possible tornado. I mean, it looks like it's going to come right across Interstate 10, so that's not good for travel at all. If you're in Crestview right now and you're thinking about heading towards Pensacola, wait, don't go right now. You need to be thinking about what's going to happen if this area of rotation holds together and tracks towards your community and having to take shelter from it. So it's not a good time to be on the roads, but especially traveling Highway 90 and Interstate 10 anywhere near the Santa Rosa Okaloosa County line under the gun for a possible tornado, and the Indian Fort area is included in this. Now, if this thing holds together, it's going to get real close to Crestview, so we're going to be watching this for Crestview as well. Looking at the update from the National Weather Service, we just got it on our chat. The circulation is remaining broad, so they may not extend the warning further east beyond the actual time of the warning, which is going to be through about 12:30 p.m. So we're going to stay with you, obviously, as long as this warning's active, bring you the latest information, and then if we see it expire, we may go back to regular programming, and then we'll come back in if we see any new warnings, which is a distinct possibility today. I mean, we have that very, very high risk, unusual level 3 enhanced risk for severe weather. Michael, looking at it here, it looks like it may be getting its act together a little more on our velocity scan.
Yeah, it is, Jason, or at least compared to what we saw over the last 10 minutes or so, you're starting to see the colors getting a little bright, which means that the winds are getting more intense. And when you see the reds and the greens closer, that's an indication of rotation, because when you see green on a velocity display, that's wind that's blowing to the radar. Red is wind blowing away from the radar. So when you see one color out of place from the other, basically something that looks different from everything else that are interlocked, that's a good way of showing rotation. And the Weather Service has just dropped the warning. The tornado warning has just been officially canceled. So that's good news. But Jason, we still have the big line of severe thunderstorm warnings because of the straight line wind threat from all of the storms.
Yeah, we are definitely wanting to monitor that as well. It's never good. And now we're glad to see the tornado warning has been dropped. But it's never good to see this many counties in this large of a geographical area under severe thunderstorm warning. So we're under a severe thunderstorm warning right now. That'll continue for Baldwin County, for Escambia, South Escambia County, for Santa Rosa County and Okaloosa County. Good news is, too, the back edge of this, we're starting to see some improvements in Mobile right now. Glad to report that the tornado warning for Santa Rosa and Okaloosa counties has been allowed to expire, but we're going to continue to monitor this with team coverage throughout the afternoon. And we saw the scenes there, Sarah, the situation in Atmore. Obviously, this is a very serious weather situation, the damage that Tyler has been talking about and the possible injuries there. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on this for everyone from the Storm Tracker Center here on Fox 10 News.
And we have had crews out throughout the morning, starting at about 4:30 this morning, all across the Gulf Coast, monitoring conditions. And we did run into some very rough weather and the severe weather we're talking about in Atmore. And we are going to continue to bring you that coverage throughout the day today, as long as this storm system is active, which hopefully then by tomorrow things will be much better, right?
Right. If you have weekend plans, you'll love Saturday and Sunday. And of course, I'll have the forecast at 4, 5, and 9 p.m. But we're going to watch this line all the way through the area.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us here on Fox 10 as we continue to follow this severe weather.